Y'all, today's video, I'm feeling like Nicki Minaj when she said, my foot on their neck is where I'm standing. So please forgive me, but I'm coming with some tough love today. Not only for you, but some good reminders for myself. So, hey, it's Jasmine here. Why won't you take up space? That is what we're going to talk about today. Moving from our state of brokenness and transforming into our whole self. I'm going to be sharing my 9 tips, 9 lessons that I've overcome and learned, mostly the hard way, really the best course of action to get to that wholeness that we are desiring and seeking. And so if we can get past the harshness of how some of these may sound and really see how this is helping us be whole, then you are going to really transform. So let's start with what the wholeness era is. The wholeness era is where all the parts of you are in agreement and concur with the way you are acting out your life. The time of being passive and lukewarm to the quality of your life can end here today, and only when you consistently reach for the best that life has to offer you. So think of someone in your life who you see as the most wow, they are living a way that you feel you could only dream and imagine. I want you to channel that image, because really they're just reaching for the best that life has to offer. And sometimes we're coming from that place where we're being a little more passive and settling a little bit more. And so you're not doing that. Yeah, let's walk in our wholeness era. Point 1, get in touch with your animalistic nature. Your initial reaction or primal instinct is correct. Animals don't repress their feelings, and especially not for the sake of others. In other words, I'm saying do not undervalue your own emotions and overvalue someone else's. That causes you to not trust yourself, and it brings down your self-worth. I'm trying not to make today's video really long as well, so I'm gonna go through these tips, and if you want me to explain in more detail or give more examples, comment below and let me know that. 2, on the emotional hierarchy, your emotions are at the top. So you want to keep in mind that this is where you may be adopting someone else's feelings. So much so, consider an empath, where they're, bringing in everyone else's emotions, that their own emotions start to get diluted and they can't distinguish what they're feeling from what someone else is feeling. And so that does cause some emotional exhaustion and a loss of self. I'm not saying anything is wrong. Yes, you can be a source of advice or offer a listening ear, but consider when the scale starts to tip so you don't internalize their feelings. 3, let others accommodate your needs. Ooh, this can be kind of hard if you're always the one giving to actually receive. When you voice your preferences, it's not an inconvenience for other people to sometimes choose your side. In fact, it should be mutual. The problem happens when you lean too far into always overly accommodating someone else. Then you start to lose your own uniqueness and the not differentness, because that's uniqueness, but your different viewpoints that you can lend to a situation. Or you can look a little bit deeper into the term self-advocacy. 4, become decisive. And it's not just about, just pick something. It's so much bigger than that. When you are making the decision, aim for the highest possible outcome. Make the decision that is the greatest for you. All in all, this is your life, so you want to have the greatest things. One of my favorite quotes is, when you settle for less, you get even less than you settled for. I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever maybe gave someone a chance who you wouldn't have normally gave a chance, and then they really do something foul, and it's well, see, now I knew better, because I wouldn't have even gave you the time of day, and now look at this. It's even worse. That's exactly what happens. Maureen Dowd. So shout out to you, girl, because that was those words to live by. And so just to finish off that point, we shouldn't consider someone else's satisfaction and then allow ourselves to be dissatisfied. Why would we even do that? And if it's all or nothing, then seems like maybe both of people need to come to compromise in the middle. 5, value your own opinion. Wise counsel is appreciated, but it is not mandatory for every decision. Your gut and your soul knows what's right. In psychology, the term is called intuitive decision making. And so if you are like me, I love all the personality tests out there. And so if you have your Myers-Briggs, I'm an INFJ, so I definitely lead with my intuitive decision making and processing. And so when I'm not in alignment with that, that is where delay comes in, confusion comes in. Yeah, it's causing too much confusion, and then ultimately just self-doubt. Especially when I feel a way about a decision and maybe the counsel I'm getting is saying something else, then that does not help me make the decision, because then it's like, oh, I'm going against myself. So we want to be able to strengthen our own intuition and intuitive decision making. And plus, that is a very feminine thing to do. Number 6, validate yourself and rock with yourself. This is where you bring your own energy. When you get that impulsive action to just sing, shout, dance, tell a joke, give someone a flirty little wink, like, that's very attractive, and it's, ooh, you get your blood pumping. And part of that is main character energy, where you take that initial action before the inhibition sets in and says, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay, lean in close. Number 7, face your challenges head on. That would hurt a little bit. That hurt a little bit. But really, what I'm asking or advising you to do is just put an end to an avoidance cycle. You are already uncomfortable, so why live in a state of discomfort versus, having the tough conversation or making the tough decision so you can go forward. This is where you get that opportunity to build your mental resiliency and strengthen the ability for you to bounce back from difficult situations quickly. This is for all the people pleasers. Number 8, stop assuming all the responsibility and fault. We are all grown, so distribute the guilt fairly to all parties involved. There's a quote that goes, "You are not required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm." Sometimes that means, sometimes people just need a moment to sit in their mess. You don't need to carry all of that. Number 9, lean into relationships that honor your growth. One thing that's important for me in dating is I want to like who I am with that person. It's not necessarily limited to if I just like them and if they like me, but I want to like how I'm showing up in the relationship too. So with all relationships, when we're leaning in, consider welcoming in your frank or matter-of-fact disposition so that way you can create authentic connections. And so I have one friend, I got 2 friends that you only ask their opinion when you want the truth because they don't know how to give it to you any other way. And so one thing with them is that you always know where you stand with them because you're not walking on eggshells. So create relationships or lean into those relationships where you have solid footing, because that also gives you a little bonus here, but it gives you a little bit of audacity. Like you're witnessing people live audaciously and boldly, and it gives you the same permission to see yourself as worthy and more deserving. And so you learn to walk in light and power and not in fear. And also, if you serve a God who is mighty, like I serve a God who is mighty, I want to walk in all that power. I don't need to, always be worried about things that are minimal. Ooh! And so we have made it through all of my tips. I know that could have been a lot. So Take your time, process it, go back, watch it again, and then let me know which tips resonated with you the most and why in the comments, or if there's some that you want me to go in a little deeper on. And then I have one more quote that I wanted to talk about toward moving from the state of brokenness into your wholeness. So there's a quote by Rumi that goes, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." And so imagine here a broken vase and you see the light coming out of it. When you heal that brokenness, it's not necessarily putting a band-aid on it or, using glue to seal it. If you are a peacock in this season, then you are going to break through that vase and let all of the light shine and just find a new container that can hold the expanded version of you. We don't want to have part of us be broken and then fix that so we are contained into just this small confinement. No, we have learned a lesson. We have learned more about ourselves. We are getting stronger. And so actually, let me come up a little bit more. Let me shine my light a little brighter. Let me flap my wings a little wider. Like, take up that space. Just because something happened to you in the past, you were damaged in the past, someone hurt you and wronged you, you don't have to just stay there any longer. You've let enough of your life pass you by. I'm talking to me. I've done enough of that. I've lived enough of that. And so I don't want to keep showing up that way. And so again, as I have mentioned, part of my journey, part of my life's work is showing you how to be your most radiant self. And I'm not sitting up here talking about anything that I'm not trying to walk or haven't walked or isn't living in this moment. Yeah, we're in this together. Okay. And so please like this video, comment below so we can keep the conversation going. Send this to a friend, a family member. And until next time, be brave, be confident, be joyful. You belong. Bye.